strange seeing you here. Today, we have got hamstrings and adductors for our mobility, okay? So for hamstrings, all we're gonna do is some slow inchworms, okay? We're all culprits of doing the high speed, let's get this shit done inchworms. Let's try and really simmer and fester in our hamstring stretch, okay? So we're gonna do static, so feet are staying fixed the whole time, okay? So let's really try and get down there. Try and keep your legs a little bit more on the straight side. A lot of us kind of just do this because we can get it done quicker. So let's really try and feel that nice big stretch, and then just kind of slowly try and get the hands down. And then once you're there, try and get those heels on the floor. You can walk yourself out into that push-up, and then same thing, try and sink back into the heels as you work yourself back up. And then when you feel that stretch, maybe hang out there a little bit longer, go up onto your fingertips and just kind of work your way in. And then once you're there, you can sit back into it, let that stretch sink in a bit, and then go back into your next one. I would like you to see you do 2 at a time for 4 cycles. It'll take a little bit of time, but your hamstrings will feel so good after, and probably your low backs. A lot of us have been doing a little bit of sitting, just a little bit. All right, so stretching out those hamstrings a little bit, maybe help deload that spine a little bit, okay? Other one we're gonna do is the adductors, and this one we're gonna kind of do like a, it's called tactical frog stretch. It's a combination of adductors and hips, okay? So you're gonna set yourself up, your knees are gonna be fairly wide, okay? Now this, like if you kind of sit back in this position, this kind of feels like a squat position, all right? This is what your hips would feel like in a squat. Now, what makes this the tactical frog stretch is instead of leaving your toes on the floor, like this, I want you to let your feet sit flat on the floor. I guess the inside of your arches would sit flat on the floor. And then from there, you're gonna try and sit your hips back, okay? If that doesn't feel like it's much of a stretch, then you wanna put your feet farther out and then sit back, okay? And this is one of those stretches that, oh my goodness, you're gonna feel that, that tension build up pretty quickly. All right. If it bothers your knees, then maybe just put more pillows underneath. Okay. But just kind of play around with where your feet are, and then you'll be able to feel that stretch a little bit differently as you go. And yeah, just kind of sink forward and back for maybe 15 to 20 reps. All right. The farther you get into the set, the longer you can hold it, because things should start to relax a little bit. Now just don't bounce. You're trying to control yourself back, find a stretch, and then come out of it. And then, yeah, kind of 15 to 20 reps. All right? So there's our mobility. From there, we'll go into some more leg crushing good time today. We're going to start off, A1 is in our split position, and we're going to do one side at a time here. So A1 and A2, you're doing all together, and then you switch and do the other side, A1, A2, okay? So we're gonna go into your split squat position, okay? Now remember, when I say split squat, I kind of mean like your split jerk position, okay? So if we hit that correctly, we should have a little bit of a bend in the back leg, a little bit of a bend in the front leg, and if our position is good, then it shouldn't be too burny in these positions, okay? So from there, you're going to do a bicep curl into a press and back down, okay? You're gonna go for 10 of those. Once you're done to 10, dumbbell comes down, and then you go right into 10 split squats. Fuego, okay? Once you're done, we switch into our bicep curl and press, okay? Once again, the weight will dictate the movement and the rep range. If you cannot do the bicep curl, but you can do the press, then you can kind of get into a little bit of a clean, and that should be able to help get you through there. And then with that, we even kind of do a little bit of a push press from that position, okay? Play around with it, make it fun, all right? We're doing 4 sets through those 2, okay? A1, A2 left, A1, A2 right, okay? 4 sets. From there, we got Tabata today, because we're Tabatasses. Just made that up now. Chris shaking his head. I don't give a shit. All right. So the way we are going to do this, Tabata is 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest, also known as non-existent rest, okay? So that 10 seconds is just enough time for the burning to stop so we can start again for the next set. We have 4 different exercises, and the way that we are going to do this is you are going to do 4 sets of one exercise and then progress to the next, okay? There's 2 ways you can do Tabata. There's cycling through the movements and going through all 4 times, or you can do all 4 of one, all 4 of the next, all 4 of the next, so on and so forth. We're doing that one, okay? So the first movement we're going to do is a dead bug, and that just looks like this. Just kidding, okay? So our dead bug, we're starting in this position, and we're trying to think of the hollow hold position. So we're gonna push our low back into the floor, and we're gonna crunch our ribs up, okay? So just right there, it should feel like it's pulling your pelvis off the floor, and it's crunching your shoulder blades off the floor, but just enough that you lose that contact. All right, once you're there, one leg out, opposite arm reaches. Opposite leg out, opposite arm reaches. Okay? So as you're going through that movement, what we're trying to do is maintain that distance from the pelvis to the rib cage on each side. Okay? Because what will happen is as the arm goes back and the leg goes out, those points, so the rib cage and the pelvis on those sides, they're going to naturally want to go apart. And if they go apart, then we get extension through our lumbar, through our low back. So if we keep that low back pressed down, and we get that extension without having any change in that distance, then we are properly working on midline stability. Okay? So we are doing 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 4 sets of that. Once you are done your 4 sets of those, we then go into a feet anchored sit-up, okay? So what we can do for this one, I don't really have a whole lot to use except for a dumbbell. If you have 2 dumbbells, putting one on each toe will work just fine. If you have a door in your house that has a big space underneath it, you can put your feet under there, under a couch, whatever works best for you, a weight plate, okay? And then down, and then you can pull yourself back up. Okay, this one you can fly pretty good on. Okay, the dead bug is a lot more of a controlled movement. This one, just give her shit. Okay, technical term. So 4 sets of the feet anchor sit-ups. Then we go into our Superman hold. Okay, so for the Superman hold, first most important thing, we covered this a few weeks ago on our Instagram page. Squeeze the butt and then lift. Okay, and we're doing a 20-second hold, all right? Now, when we're in that position, we need to make sure that we're keeping our butt cheeks squeezed the whole time. As soon as you relax your butt cheeks, what's gonna happen is your low back muscles are gonna try and take over, and they're gonna get a lot more extension through just your lumbar, and you're gonna get some pinching in there. And as soon as you get any kind of pinching, it's going to be irritated for about a week, okay? So we want to try and minimize how much extra pinching we get through that joint, or those joints, I guess. All right? Once you are done the Superman hold for 4 sets, then we go into the pièce de résistance, and that's just V-Situps, out, up. Okay? So So needless to say, core's gonna get it. Core's gonna give it to you. Okay? So there is no rest, or sorry, no extra rest between the movements. Okay? So you stay with that 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest for the entire time. Okay? So that should take you 12 minutes, I think. No, 12 would be, 8. It'll be 8 minutes to get through the entire thing. Okay? So set a timer, and just remember, on 0 you go, on 20 you rest, on 30 you go, on 50 you rest. That's it. Basic math, really. I'm just not good at it. Okay? Have yourselves a fantastic day, you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.